There we go. Now we can go live. Or it says we are. Hey, maybe we got this thing working.
Yay.
Hello, all you folks out there in YouTube land. You guys in the chat, let us know if you're getting the audio okay. Hopefully you are. We got Alan Evans and Judy Bassett and Rob Barton in here with me. Yeah, they say they have sound. You guys speak to them. Say something, Alan.
Good evening, Peanuts.
Ah,
Sorry,
yes.
that's
Good
Terry,
morning.
There you go. How you guys been?
Murphy's in action again. Good, thanks, Blue. You've got trouble with Murphy again, have you?
Nah, not really. Just I got rid of the audio mixer thing, so I'm doing it all just through Windows now, and trying to figure out how to set things up has me a little confused. But I think we'll make it one way or the other. So you guys are in good shape, huh?
We are.
Excellent. I see Farmer's Boy has joined. Hello, Farmers.
Good evening, Blue. How the devil are you?
I am absolutely outstanding.
Well, as long as somebody is, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I tuned in, I think it was yesterday, and caught a little bit of Bev's stream where he spent an entire hour trying to refute an 8-minute video made by Nathan Oakley.
An hour on 8 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, typical Bev. You know, he's got to replay everything 5 times.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yeah, let's go back and listen to it again. Yeah, no.
It's invariably hilarious. Never fails. But yeah, it's pretty amusing when these guys can't decide who they are or who's in favor of what. You got Nathan saying, yeah, it's flat, and Bev saying, no, it's not flat. It's obviously not flat. There's hills and mountains and valleys and things. Oh, my God. And they are really at each other's throats. And I find it terribly amusing for some reason.
Yeah, when the idiots are fighting amongst themselves, you think, yeah, crack on. Go for it. Yep.
It's funny how they're disagreeing with each other over something so fundamental to their worldview.
Yeah.
Yet they're still both wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that happen?
And of course, they're still both in the same camp, because regardless of what they claim, they both claim, their assertions are that the Earth is flat. You know, Bev does it in a roundabout sort of manner, and I'm fairly certain Oakley isn't even a real flat earther. It's all just a performance. But they're still both in the same camp of in various roundabout ways, for one of them stating that the Earth is flat. But they're at each other's throats.
Well, you know, not that anything is to Nathan's credit, but at least he's man enough to say, yes, I am a flat earther.
Yes.
So I suppose to that extent, I've got a minor amount of respect for the guy. At least he doesn't try to run from what it is he is. True. Bev, on the other hand, and that whole crowd are a bunch of cowards. That's all you can say for them. They hold a belief and clearly state that the level is horizontal, and you cannot say that without simultaneously saying the Earth is flat. I'm sorry.
I mean, They claim not to be flat earthers, and they claim not to have a model. But as soon as you say all horizontals are parallel, that's a model.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Or even more importantly, all verticals are parallel.
Yep, that's a model.
I'm here to save the day, guys.
And thanks for doing that. Glad you dropped in, Loyal.
Yeah, now I can appeal to Farmer's Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you've changed your tune.
This is a different channel.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dog Walker in the chat says they take stupidity to an art form. That is true.
Yes. Yes.
That is absolutely true.
Not an art form I particularly admire or subscribe to, but yes, it's quite something to behold.
Bev is a bit unique in my view because I think Bev is pretending not to be a flat earther who wasn't a flat earther who was pretending to be a flat earther to begin with.
Mm.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
I think that
Yes.
he's a Poe inside a Poe, and Oakley's just a Poe. So either way, they're both Poes. You know?
Is he related to Edgar Allan?
No.
Oh,
No,
wrong
Poe.
Poe.
Wrong Poe.
Eh?
He's not related to Ying Tong Tiddleye Poe either.
Like I said in the chat, there, it's like two Poes in a Poe pod. They're balancing each other, you know.
But you're absolutely right. He, for years on Twitter and everything else, he was as flat earth as it could be. Then he suddenly changed, and now he claims he was just pretending, whilst he's pretending not to be a flat earther. Oh God.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Nurse, it's time.
I mean, you could argue, say that for Oakley it's a grift. He does it for money, but
gotcha.
I mean that's dwindling. We all know that. Bev doesn't appear to do it for money; he just does it for notoriety. But then you got to say, well, okay, well, why is Oakley still continuing doing what he's doing? He's also doing it for notoriety, and they're just doing it for attention. At the bottom line, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Spot on.
I believe I agree with that. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Well, the funny thing is, we're accusing them of being dumb, but many flat earthers accuse me of being dumb because I'm very well. It's providing a simple argument that they can't deny and beating a dead horse with that argument because they refuse to answer that argument.
Yeah, you kind of I heard you, Lyle. You kind of play devil's advocate in a very sort of roundabout way, but without actually being a devil's advocate. Oh God, blimey, does that make any sense either? I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm a devil's
Matt, have you
advocate.
been drinking?
I don't know. I haven't. I swear. I'm not
Then
very
maybe
well.
you
But I'm
should.
not...
Maybe you should have a snifter.
No, but like Lyle says, he kind of, well, okay, let me put it another way then. You sort of turn their own argument against them. Put it that way then. Maybe you're not playing devil's advocate then. Maybe that's the case.
Hey, shout out to Brainery, who gifted 10 Blue Marble Science memberships. Thank you, Brainery. You are a good man. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, not today anyway.
I'm still playing with audio volumes over here.
Fair enough.
It seems to me, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that flat earthers are hard pressed to figure out how to answer the question. Can you demonstrate to me or show me an object on the earth that produces light that is not physical? They cannot do it. I think it's a physical impossibility and a practical one too.
I just wanted to show evidence of a flat Earth.
Yeah, that would be the starting point. Who cares about producing light?
Yeah, just
Show us
this flat Earth.
Yeah.
Well,
Or if you want to get really tough, explain the sunset.
Well,
That'll
could you say that is evidence if it's wrong?
How can evidence be wrong?
No. Well, you could argue, say, okay, well, they're presenting evidence, but the evidence is wrong that they're presenting. So therefore, does it mean that it's not evidence anymore?
I might have to go and have a drink. Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting your mind twisted in two.
I think I understand what you're saying, Matt. You're saying, for example, you can point to a particular character like Joseph Smith and say, he said such and such and such and such and such and such, and you can provide many evidences that he said that thing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that thing is true.
Yeah, in other words, the interpretation of what his evidence he's presenting is actually incorrect.
Yeah,
but it's still evidence.
That's where it falls.
But you can still argue it's still evidence, right?
I mean, it's my go-to example again of a sunset. You know, we see the sunset and we interpret what we're seeing in one way. Flat earthers don't actually interpret it; they just lie about it.
Well, some do, yeah.
Well, it just goes up.
Farmer's Boy, that's where my argument about the physical, an object that's physical on Earth that produces light, can they provide evidence that there's a non-physical object? That's where it stems from. Because I asked, can you explain to me on the flat Earth how sunrises and sunset works? And the Latter-day Saint says, well, we don't know what the sun is. It's not even a physical object.
Yeah, so what?
And so that's where my argument.
So what?
Well, that's where my argument comes in. Can you demonstrate to me something on Earth that produces light that is not a physical object?
Well, exactly. You're right. You can't.
And I bored blue.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my stream going again.
He's fiddling with his settings.
Yeah, I'm fiddling around with the settings.
The stupid Aeon character in Gem Server today says consciousness can produce light.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how to quantify that.
Well, exactly. I mean, well, exactly. Consciousness is not a physical thing, is it?
People, I don't know. You can say it's a thing, can't you?
Well, you can say it's a thing, but it doesn't make it physical.
Right. Then you got to
happiness is a thing. It isn't necessarily physical.
That's true, but then you got to provide evidence that this physical thing can't produce light.
Right.
And I guess it depends on how you're defining light. I think that's what his point was too. Maybe I should ask him next time I talk to him.
Well, I mean, you can convert a physical thing to light or electromagnetic radiation, but at which point you won't have anything but the light or electromagnetic radiation. But it was definitely a physical thing beforehand, wasn't it?
All right.
A lot of noise coming from somebody's microphone.
I think it's Rob.
Yeah, Rob, you may need to stay on mute when you're not talking, because we're picking up a lot of background noise there. All right, 96 people watching. Thank you for showing up, everybody. And what is this? Ice River says, is this audio of a Discord channel? Yeah, it is, actually. Certainly is. And Alan, maybe you can stick a link to the Discord out in the YouTube chat if you get a second. Or one of you
I think you might need to ask Farmers to do that. I'm on my phone still.
Oh, okay.
Right. Let's. Okay. Bear with.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, go on then.
Yeah, I can do that. supposedly.
Yeah, just stick
I
it out.
I was just thinking, oh bugger, where's that? Something
Yeah,
else
no,
happened.
so I do it quite often, so it's alright. I'll do it now.
Cool. Not
Yeah,
as
just,
one of us can, but
yeah, just go up there and click the BMS server bar and invite people thing.
I see.
Let's see. I'm going to take care of a couple more people out here that are not moderators,
There you go.
just so nobody gets picked on.
Yeah, because it's much better when you pick on somebody who's got a spanner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No retaliation. I mean, there's just nothing. Oh well, you got to actually defend yourself instead of, clicking the button,
Yep.
so to speak. All right. Well, before we get too sidetracked on anything else, we got 103 people watching. I say, let's go through some of Bev's nonsense from yesterday. And this is what's up on my, if you're internal here in the Discord, watch my live stream. Click on the little live button up there.
Yep.
And hopefully I've got the audio all sorted out where you guys are going to be hearing it. And this started out, this is just a copy that I made off of Bev's stream there yesterday. And it starts at the very beginning of of a Nathan Oakley 8-minute video. And it starts at a point where there's a, I don't know, it looks like a guy on board a ship talking about navigation and talking about why the shortest distance between 2 points on a flat map is not going to be a straight line. So let me just play a little bit of it, make sure you guys are hearing it, and let's see where this goes.
Super yacht transport ship.
Some old voyage preparation.
So if you were to put a great circle on the chart, it will appear as a curve, not a straight line.
So on this Mercator projection, this will be like this, like you see
on the screen.
Axis, because on the Oakley screen is also Mercator projection.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying on the Mercator projection, what we show you is a curved line.
Absolutely.
But on the real Earth, it is like this, like the straight line.
Yes.
Okay, so in reality, straight. On the map, curved. Right? Well, what are the lines on the map? Oh, well, they're circles. The straight lines on the map are circles. Yeah. Circles of equal elevation from Polaris. All right, I see. So we've got curved.
What did he say? What did he say? Circles of equal, what? Okay, whatever.
He seems to think it's all been derived from Polaris.
Well, I think it says that you're referring to latitudes, which will look straight on flat map. Now, circle.
Yeah. And they're circles of equal altitude to Polaris as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, they would be.
Well, given that Polaris is not quite at the dead center, but
Well, close enough, though.
yeah, it's close enough.
Within a degree, anyway. All right, let's see.
Lines as a grid system that are straight, and therefore a straight line appears curved. That makes sense. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But ultimately, what's happening in reality? We're traveling straight. Why the hell would you travel this big-ass boat in a curved path when it'll take longer?
What the bowlers claim is that that curved line is a straight line. That's their claim. Because you don't deviate. They literally call a curved line a straight line. I will shout out Bev for this because Bev had him saying this. This is where he got the curvizontal from. Because that's where that came from. Was they were claiming that a curved line that you're not deviating from on your path. If you were taking a curved path, then that's a straight line. That's what the bowlers, that's how they like to think about it. Bendy's onto, that's it. Bendy's onto, yeah. So yeah, Bev did have him talking about bendy frontals.
Wait, hold on. A curve, if you're following a curved line and you don't deviate from that curved line, you can consider that line straight?
Yep.
Here we go.
Wow, that sounds confusing. Some people have got a confusion about what straight is. Who'd have thunk it? It's almost as though that's not what we've been doing. All this time, people have been saying, what the fuck are you doing, Bev? You never changed. But this is what we're doing. We find the fundamentals of straight lines. The logical understanding of it.
And you had two people starting at the same point. One traveled that curved path, the other traveled the straight path. Would they travel the same path?
It's only conceptual in your mind.
That's what I mean.
The guy said it. So it's a straight line. Like the guy said. Saying that it's anything other than that is just adding to the confusion in people's minds.
But a straight line across the surface of a sphere is not straight. It is curving. And the shortest distance between 2 points on a sphere is not going to be what you call a straight line. Not a straight line like you're familiar with in Euclidean geometry. Try to catch up, Bev.
Well, that's
all it ever has been.
They can't define what that line is. You know, we can define it easily as a great circle. That's fine, but none of them can actually define what that line is. So if I draw a line from point A to point B, say on a football, none of them can actually say what that line is.
Yeah.
If it's not a straight down line, then what is it? But none of them can answer that. I've asked that many times, but I'd never get an answer. What is it then? Well, they can only say what it isn't, or what they think it isn't.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, they don't know. They refuse to even try to conceptualize what goes on when you try to draw a line between 2 points on a spherical surface. It just doesn't make any sense to them. I don't know why. It's a pretty easy concept. Everybody must have a volleyball or a basketball or a globe or something sitting around. Try it yourself, guys. Take a piece of string and pull it across the surface. See what it does. It's not really hard.
Well, they need to not be able to get it because they have to pretend that the only kind of geometry that's valid is planar geometry or Euclidean geometry. Right. And they have to make that, they have to claim that because they can't allow for there to be other kinds of geometry that are applicable to curved surfaces.
That's true. Let's see where he's going with this.
So this is just people adding to confusion. A straight line is straight. We drop bendizontal because it's ridiculous. Even to give people the conception that it is helps these guys with their understanding of not understanding. They're not that. These are blue marble scientists that we're dealing with.
Hey, shout out Blue Marble.
Should be very careful with the not that and your talk about it. It causes like an ongoing trigger that just starts building up as soon as this even gets talked about. Now, you may think here that what's going to happen within this next little bit is a triggered tirade because of me. Somebody's injected me, but it's not. It's the injection of the straight line and the curve and the mental processing that goes on when people have to have a struggle with their comprehension or their understanding of what a straight line is. It's pretty, listen,
Yeah.
here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Shadow Falcon out in the chat says it correctly. It's a geodesic. That's what we call it.
Right.
It is a segment. It's an arc segment of a great circle. That in spherical trigonometry, spherical geometry, is the equivalent of a straight line in planar geometry. How hard is that? I don't think it's very hard.
Not
for some people. It's a problem.
Yeah, apparently.
Or some people pretend it's a problem.
Quite possibly, yes.
The hell? These people are getting crazier and crazier.
I've also got to actually thank Bev for his little interaction.
Yeah, sorry about that, Nathan. That was really good. I understand what you did. You had the guy right on there showing you that he has been gaslit.
What? Horizontal, right? Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah, we noticed.
Yeah, we know.
Talking to a surveyor with my lad. Quite a few years ago, this. Nathan Oakley's got hold of it. So listen to what I'm saying, and then listen to what Nathan Oakley says.
Yeah, rewind it. Yeah.
It's nothing else. Should I call it vertical because it's up and down? Well, it's perpendicular, isn't it? Yeah. Horizontal and vertical. Level is not curved at all, is it? No, it's flat. No, it's flat. Can't be have a curve in it. Can't be curved, no, it's flat.
Right, so we're talking about level to a surveyor. He said he calls it vertical because it's up and down. That's the measurement that he makes on the vertical because it's a vertical datum.
Bev, what you did is called drive-by flirting, okay? And the poor surveyor had no clue who you were or what you were trying to get him to say. So he answered it like you're just some run-of-the-mill idiot that walked up to him off the street. In fact, you're a very special idiot with an agenda. You got him to say what you wanted him to say. That's all that happened, Bev.
Hold on, but Nathan is right, because the survey said that the level is flat. He said it's flat. Bev always say you don't need to say flat plane, because you don't need to say flat. It's a plane. But the surveyor said it's flat, so it must be flat, not a plane. He didn't say it's a plane. Say it's flat.
So that's what he says. And I say, it can't curve, can it? And he says, no, it's flat. Obviously, talking about level, Nathan, not the fucking earth. I wasn't talking to him about the earth. So...
Wait a minute. What is the surveyor surveying, Bev, if it's not the damn earth? Holy Jesus. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
He's surveying imaginometry.
Right. The level is flat, but the earth below it doesn't deviate. So suppose Bev does not consider the oceans earth.
Well, Bev won't call anything flat. According to him, there is nothing that's flat when you listen to him.
The surveyor says there is.
Yeah. You get balled up in a bunch of semantics here if you're not careful. And that's really what it all comes down to. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
Right? The guy's talking, and I'm talking to him about level. I even talk about the canals.
That's flat.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.
All right. No, it's flat. Can't be curved, no, it's flat.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.
Various different surveyors talking about surveying Earth as flat.
No. Fucking obsessed with it. They don't talk about surveying the earth as flat. That guy was talking to me about level. Not the earth, Nathan. It's what these people, right? You have to be aware. There's a group of people that are absolutely obsessed with the earth. And they have to put it everywhere, in every conversation that anybody ever has.
Who's that?
I had to put in a comment to Nathan about this, right? talking to a fucking surveyor about level. Don't misrepresent him. He didn't say the Earth was flat. No surveyor would, because they measure elevations. He said it's on the fucking vertical.
Oh, good grief, Bev.
The factions are fighting.
Now, listen
Hey,
to what
do you
Nathan's
know what?
going to do from this now.
That was Bev talking to a surveyor who says, yeah, it's flat.
It's flat.
You notice Bev didn't flat shame him when he described horizontal, level, flat as flat.
No, why would I? He said it was vertical. Fucking hell.
That's what it is. He just said, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Of course, if he's trying to manipulate you, that's Bev, that
What
is.
does Nathan want? Someone to give this guy, this poor guy, just doing his job on the street. Complete stranger comes up, asks him some questions. They have a little conversation. He then wants what? To stand there and shame him for saying a word.
Yeah, I said it at the beginning of it. I'm doing a little project with my lad. I had my son with me. And we were going over the understanding of what level is.
So now Nathan Oakley, the person who asks for money all the time, is taking things that you've done to help your son.
Yeah.
About help.
I'm really curious. If you're trying to figure out what the surveyor thinks level is, why didn't you ask him that question? Why didn't you ask him what his definition of level is, Bev? I'll bet you he would say it's points of equal elevation.
I'm not sure.
Depends
Really
what sort
pretty
of
sure.
surveyor he was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
Well, no matter what sort he is. Level means the same thing to any surveyor. Level points are points of equal elevation. I don't care who you are or what your purpose is. Whether you're out there surveying a pasture or doing a geodetic survey, it's still all the same thing. Level means points of equal elevation, period.
Well, even Bev, I think will agree to that. We just want to assert that it's also horizontal.
Yeah, it's just not horizontal. Horizontal and level are two separate, distinct things.
Right. And if he actually challenged the surveyor to whether or not he thought level and horizontal were identical, I think the surveyor might have. I don't know. It depends, because for short distances, surveyors are usually like, yeah, it's going to flatten it out. Okay, that's fine. I want to say something real quick about the word games he was playing earlier, because if he's talking about reading level on the vertical, and he's like, well, if we want to play the same kind of game, and he's saying, well, that's got to be flat, you could say that he wants the rod that he's reading from, the vertical, to be flat onto the reading instrument. We could play that word game too.
And if Bev doesn't like that we say flat as surface, because flat plane, because plane is a plane, not flat. Why say level is flat? Is horizontal. It's level. Why add horizontal to it?
You can't. You just can't add horizontal to it. Level and horizontal are two different things. Two totally different things.
I'm just going by his head. If something has a name, why you need to add something else on it? It already has a name. Level.
Well, it's not proving his point. That's why. It's not going toward his conflation of level and horizontal, the way he thinks of it. He needs to confuse this to the point that he can get somebody to agree to something that they don't realize they're agreeing to. That's the dishonesty that comes with these guys. Bev in particular.
to make money.
Yeah, he's putting it out on YouTube and then misrepresenting what the fucking guy said. The whole conversation, what it was about. It was about the canal. It's about the realising Euclid. All of this sort of stuff that we've been doing. Then Nathan's obviously misrepresenting us, much like the Blue Marble Scientist. This is ridiculous. But worse than that, he thinks that guy just said that the Earth was flat. It's delusional. Delusional. He thinks it's flat shaming as well, to point out to people that elevation changes negate flatness. I'll go over a couple of these things as well in a bit.
It'll flat shame you if you suggest it's flat. Not to a surveyor, a professional guy actually doing the job. When he says it's flat, thanks very much, mate. No.
He said level. Fucking hell, Nathan. He didn't say the Earth's flat. He's not that fucking daft. He's a surveyor. He said it's on fucking vertical. Holy shit.
Flat shaming involved, right? That's because it's flat. Unless you're being gaslit that level and horizontal aren't flat, then you'll be flat shamed by some psychopath.
You say level as horizontal, right? Now, please, listen to what Nathan's saying. He just said level and horizontal, because that's exactly what I was talking about. Not the fucking Earth. Level isn't the Earth. Horizontal isn't the Earth, Nathan Oakley. Please get your fucking terms correct. In your own head. Fucking annoys the shit out of me, this sort of stuff.
He wasn't this bold when he was actually being yelled at by Nathan.
No, I don't recall him being bold at all. In fact, I thought he was rather
his
diminutive.
Beloved Emma getting insulted and serving muted. He just sat there and took it.
But have you noticed that Bev is quite prepared to call somebody surveyor that he's never met before, says something that suits his narrative, but as soon as he gets into debate with somebody, he totally destroys him and proves him wrong when he was on MC Toon's channel. And he's not a surveyor, apparently.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they probably had an auto lever. Oh, wait. Beth has one. And he says he don't claim to be a surveyor.
The
So maybe
problem
you
is...
should have asked him beforehand, are you a surveyor?
Well, the problem is over here, you can call yourself a surveyor.
Yeah, because
it doesn't mean to say you've gone and sat in any classes.
At the beginning, though, he did claim he was a surveyor, though, didn't he? He said he was a qualified surveyor, started waving these certificates in front of everybody's face. And now
until it's proved beyond any doubt that he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't claim to be a surveyor. He claims he has a certificate. Doesn't claim to
well, now he did, but at the very start, like he did.
He has changed. His story has changed, mutated, and altered over the last few years.
Right.
Yeah, he was a certified surveyor. Was the words that he used to use.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now he's not. Now he's saying he's never claimed that he was.
I've never been a surveyor. I've never done any surveying, but he's got this certificate that he's very proud of.
No.
Oh, Chike did.
Well, he does say he did surveying.
Oh, he honestly, Chike, at the beginning, honestly, he used to say that he was a certified surveyor. That's what he said he was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not now, but he did.
Yeah, okay. But Farmer says he says he never did any surveying. No, he does say he did some surveying.
Yeah.
Not the last couple of times I've heard him explain himself.
No, he used to, but he's changed his mind.
Problem is he keeps changing his bloody story, and it's a job to keep up. He'll say one thing 1 minute and say something else the next.
One of the big problems in the UK is that it's not illegal. It's illegal to call yourself a chartered surveyor if you're not, but it's not illegal to call yourself a surveyor. It's the same in engineering. You can call yourself an engineer as long as you don't call yourself a chartered engineer.
Yep, I'm an engineer. I'm not a chartered engineer. Never bothered.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer.
Oh, we have the same thing in the U.S. The words are different. We don't call it chartered. We call it registered professional.
Yeah.
You can't call yourself a professional land surveyor unless you have a license. Just like an engineer, you can't call yourself a professional engineer unless you have a PE license. That's the way it works.
Right,
So,
but it's a free country. You're free to survey whatever you want.
oh, sure.
Survey, you're a surveyor.
You just can't.
That bloke, I'm sure, is perfectly entitled over in the UK to call himself a surveyor because he does surveying. And I
Yeah.
strongly suspect that he wasn't talking to what we would term a geodetic surveyor. Be very surprised.
Yeah. You can survey anything you want to. Anybody can. Go right ahead. It won't stand up in a court of law. And there are certain things you can't do. You're not allowed to charge for your service, I don't think. But whatever. Let's go on a little bit.
Okay, just thought I'd drop that in there as we were talking about it.
Yeah, he steps out of the realms of reality because he actually starts talking about how level and horizontal, when he's talking about them, he's not referring to the Earth, which is what QE...
I've never been talking about the Earth. Level and horizontal have got nothing to do with the Earth. I can't remember how many times I've fucking said that.
Bev, that is idiotic. How in the hell can you say level and horizontal have nothing to do with the Earth? I don't understand that. How the guy can with a straight face say a stupid thing like that?
Right, but when Icon Science that said if level is horizontal, the Earth that can't be a globe, he was quite happy with it.
I'm very curious what level is in the International Space Station, or what those guys or what those guys consider horizontal to be. Please tell us that, Bev. If it doesn't have anything to do with the Earth, then it must be universal, right? You should be able to go anywhere in the universe and say, oh, that's level. Right. Seems as though we can't do that unless we're in the damn Earth's gravitational well.
Maybe we should ask them to conduct an experiment with water level at the station.
Yeah,
What we come up with.
That'd be a great idea. It's just silly, absolutely stupid of Bev when he says things like that level and horizontal don't have anything to do with the Earth. They have everything to do with the Earth. Without the Earth, those words would not even exist. Not in that context. Jesus.
Well, it's an even altitude. It's away from the Earth. Of its own.
Now, wait a minute. You just said it didn't have anything to do with the Earth. Now it's away from the Earth. Does that not have anything to do with the Earth? Bev, make your mind up.
You know who else says it's got something to do with that? Like their society guys, like Rumpus.
We picked them up on was that how can you not be referring to the Earth if you're talking about horizontal? Is you don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon. So Bev contradicts himself because he'll then in the next breath say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So he's
right. It has to be gone over, right? Brian's saying I'm contradicting myself.
I didn't catch that.
You guys to go over the bit that in the next breath I'm contradicting myself. See if you can see where I make a contradiction. I'd like to know what it is.
Oh, crap. Now we're in a position where we might actually have to agree with Brian's logic. Just shoot me. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and me.
Just shoot me.
Sweet Jesus, no.
That in there as we were talking about it.
Yeah, he steps out of the realms of reality because he actually starts talking about how level and horizontal, when he's talking about them, he's not referring to the Earth, which is what QE picked him up on, was that how can you not be referring to the Earth if you're talking about horizontal? Is you don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon. So Bev contradicts himself because he'll then in the next breath say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So
Do you get it? Where's the contradiction?
Well, he's still referring to the horizon as Earth, which you do not. Water, I'm talking about.
QE said.
What?
Yeah.
That in
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, guys. What was that horse shit about?
No, I'm too sober for this.
Surely, if you're talking about the horizon, you're talking about the Earth. What the hell?
Yeah.
What?
What other horizon are you talking about?
Well, yeah, what other horizon is there? What?
I know.
Unless there's some sort of dimension where there's no horizons somewhere on some other plane that he exists on, probably in his brain.
And if he is going to survey something, but where is going to find his datum? Is it floating in the air somewhere?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh God.
Yes, every datum is based on some elevation referencing something on the Earth, fellas. It has to be. Can't be any other way. Jesus. These guys are unbelievable.
In order to establish a horizontal, you need the horizon. That's what QE stated, right?
Yep.
I've never stated that. So how can I contradict myself if I go with something that I've never said? QE's put a fucking thought in Brian's head there. And Brian's attributed that fucking weird thought that QE had to some sort of a contradiction that I hold. Listen to it again.
He also said that when you're talking about level and horizontal, you're stepping away from reality. So maybe that's why he's arbitrarily claiming a contradiction, because obviously you're not stepping away from reality when you're talking about this.
No.
But he thinks you are. So when it becomes painstakingly clear that this is a term used to describe something in reality, maybe he thinks that's where the contradiction comes in, because now you're definitely talking about reality, while he's already stated that you're not talking about reality. So he's mixing up himself there, I think.
Yeah, I think it's multiple layers of confusion, contradictions, and all sorts. Listen to it again. Listen.
Steps out of the realms of reality, because he actually starts talking about how level and horizontal, when he's talking about them, he's not referring to the Earth, which is what QE picked him up on. Was that how can you not be referring to the Earth if you're talking about horizontal? Is you don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon.
You don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon. Who the fuck said that? Some crazy dude called QE thinks you can only establish a horizontal if you've got the horizon there. I mean, that was called fucking ridiculous when he said it. But Brian still thinks it's part of a fucking contradiction. Ooh.
So Bev contradicts himself because he'll then in the next breath say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So he's contradicting himself when he says that when he's talking about level and horizontal being the same thing, he's not making any reference to the Earth. You can't not make a reference to the Earth.
Right.
Yeah, of course you can. You can not make a reference to the Earth. I never do. It's not within the argument. There's no point. It's not needed. It's superfluous.
By the way, nobody is taking horizon on the Earth into consideration because it would be topographic horizon. So it cannot create. You are not sure.
Yeah.
If you are if you can create plane from that kind of horizon, you can do that using, let's say, horizon at sea, but not on Earth. because water seeks its level, but ground does not seek its level.
Go farmers.
Bev, for so long now, has been saying that all horizontals are parallel and that they're parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah.
Now he's saying that the horizon's got nothing to do with Earth. So what plane of the horizon is he bloody well on about? And what is plane of the horizon? It's a nonsensical term to begin with.
The one above water, which is not Earth. Earth is dirt, according to them.
And here now you're getting to one of his semantic arguments again. He always spells Earth with a little e. He never capitalizes it because then he can't be talking about the shape of the planet.
But how can you be sure that Earth does or dirt does not seek its level?
Well, you can't.
That needs to be proven.
But of course, the water, and they say water seeks its level. Well, yeah, it does, but not for the reasons that you think. It's still part of Earth, capital E. Which is why whenever I'm winding him up on Twitter, I always make sure I spell it with a capital E, because I'm not talking about dirt, I'm talking about the bloody planet. But now he's trying to say that the horizon's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Well, what horizon is he referencing then? A pretend one? So what they parallel to? If all these horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, and the horizon's got nothing to do with the planet, what's he on about?
What is the plane of the horizon? Never explained.
No, because it's another one of his nonsensical terms. It's parallel to blah, basically.
Yeah. Well, let's continue for a bit.
So you cannot say that, if I can see horizon on the Earth, then I can make from that reference frame. No, you cannot on Earth. That's why you are using auto level or water level.
You know, we have... Oh, sorry, were you not done?
Go on.
We have a lake pretty close to here, and it's all around this lake are these pretty tall mountains, like the entire way around it. And there are houses built all the way around this lake. And all of these houses are leveled, like their floors are level. But there is no horizon in view from where these houses are built. You can't see the ocean or anything from the natural bowl in the landscape. But all of these houses are built level, so there must be some wizardry at work here.
Yeah, I would say, we were talking earlier about this is how paralogisms are made, right? This is how you end up trapping somebody in something, right? You build them up so they say a load of, they're on the train. They're like, yeah, let's go. So then QE says something fucking ridiculous that he thinks wins him the game, or Brian thinks it wins him the game. Now, Brian has repeated this stupid comment that QE made about the requirement of a horizon to establish a horizontal. But now QE's locked in on it, right? QE can't go back because Brian's just used it as a fucking thing that Nathan Oakley's put in a video. This is literally how paralogisms are made. Now, are any of these people going to correct this statement? Or are they just going to allow all of the flat earthers that watch Nathan Oakley to imagine that QE's got one over on us by saying that horizontals require a horizon? And Brian to say that that is incorporated in some sort of contradiction that I'm committing when I've never said anything like that.
Well, I'm sorry, Bill, but you have said things like that.
And I'm quite happy with this. Who was it? The guy? Forgot his name. I really want them to transfer his level horizontal around the lake to around where Bev lives and show me that that horizontal is indeed parallel to the horizon in black holes.
This is bad because they're stuck in this now. Huey's stuck in saying something that he can't get out of. He said it. Brian's telling everybody that QE said it. QE can't justify it. It just doesn't happen. It's not true. Brian's working some sort of Brian's logical contradiction thing out in his head. Obviously, misunderstanding of a contradiction. Here we go. It's going to snowball.
I mean, Bono could say the same thing, if you understand what I mean.
Good, but that's
And
not
they
who
could
Bev's
say,
appealing
oh,
to.
yeah.
So, for those of you in the audience who aren't aware of who we were talking about,
Right, here we go now. This is the good one. This is I'm appealing to people somehow. Nathan. I'm sorry for anybody that's listening to us here. For what Nathan's about to say, what Nathan thinks.
talking about some guy who's rounded up a load of lost soul flat earthers who are sick of the ridicule and don't want to say the earth's flat anymore. So this guy's appealed to these lost souls and gone, I've got a way of letting you say earth isn't flat. And laughing in the face of people who say it does present itself as flat. That's what this guy's appealed to. And I didn't...
I'm not laughing in the face of people who say that the earth's flat. I'm asking them.
Can't disagree with
how
him.
did they...
Huh?
Well, you can't disagree with Oakley there, can you, really?
No, actually, yeah, this is a conundrum here.
I know we had this before, and we've just decided we agree with Brian's logic, and now we're agreeing with Oakley.
Yeah.
So, what's going on?
I don't know. There's a disturbance in the force
Bizarre.
or something. Yeah, and the truth of the matter is, our definition of horizontal really doesn't have much to do with the horizon.
Yep.
Our definition of horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. Vertical being in the direction of gravity.
Wait, let me correct that. A horizontal is perpendicular to a vertical.
Yes. A horizontal, or as many of them as you'd like to stack up and down on a particular vertical. And all of those would be can be parallel with each other.
Oh, they won't be by definition, no? That's how we define them.
Yeah, well, oops. I may have to go on mute. My dog is going crazy in there. Here, I'll be quiet for a minute.
It's okay.
You deal with...
You're like a hound dog, typical coon hunting dog or something there, Blue.
Nah, he's just greeting the neighbors, that's all.
The contradiction, Nathan.
And I think at the beginning it was me that was very insistent on not having a label.
Yeah.
And not being flat earther because it's not flat.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It made no sense at all. So it's not just Bev.
Yeah, why do you want to act?
Oh, yeah, we know it's not just Bill. There's a whole room full of you idiots all saying the same silly shit.
It's interesting to hear that this whole, oh, it's not flat, I can prove it, there's hills and mountains, came from her.
Well, let's start with the definition of flat. What is flat?
Yeah, but when we say flat earther, we all know what that means.
No, never mind flat earth. What is flat? When you say
Well, who
flat,
cares?
what do you mean?
Yeah, but we're not interested in that. We're interested in the fact that he spent years espousing the flat earth and welcome to the flat earth. And of course, it's flat, flat, flat. I'm a flat earther. and then all of a sudden, no, I'm not a flat earther. I don't know what you mean. What is a flat earther?
That's okay, but not at this stage. He says he's not a flat earther. What is flat? He said Earth is not flat. What is flat? What do you define as flat?
Well, I look at it this way. You got a tennis ball, you got a coin. Now, if you look at a coin really close, you know, you got, you know, the impressions of the lettering and a profile, and it's got a little contour to it. Yeah, it's got topography. And then you look at a tennis ball. Well, yeah, it's got, you know, the fuzz. It's got, you know, the seams or the lines on it. Yeah, it's not, and it may not be, you know, perfectly spherical. But if you look at those two side by side, you'd say the coin is flat and the tennis ball is spherical. And that's the flat Earth that they can't get away from, at least calling a coin flat. Oh yes, it has topography. Oh yeah, the Earth, it's got hills and valleys and rivers. Yeah, but it's mostly ocean, and yeah, there is topography, but the topography sticks up about as high as the lettering on a coin.
Well, much less, I believe.
Okay, let's not split hairs.
Well, I do want to split hairs because the coin is very small. If Earth was the coin, it was perfectly flat.
Okay, all right, and yeah, the Earth is more like a polished billiard ball, but they're looking at it more like it's got bumps and hills and valleys all over the place. Okay, a coin, it would match what they're describing, other than a polished silver plate, in which you can magnify and find little grooves.
Tennis balls are flat. Wake up.
Accept a label that's literally just
a dinner plate's got an upturned edge. Yeah, coin's got a rim.
Misnomer.
Right, but a coin is
obviously an undefensible position to take into a conversation or argument, debate. So, hey, Nathan thinks everybody here is a lost soul that we've gathered together because people don't.
You all talk about McKeegan's rebuttal to Oakley.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What did you say, Larry?
I was just curious if you had a shout out to McKeegan for his rebuttal to Oakley.
No, we're just watching this Bev video. That's all.
Oh, I was wondering why I was so quiet. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just came in.
Yeah, click on the on my live up there.
Want to say the Earth's flat? It's just not flat. Why would people want to say the Earth's flat?
Because you don't think it's a ball. Oh,
flat Earthers are getting even worse than the blue marble scientists.
What?
Don't give a shit about whatever you imagine the shape of the Earth to be. I don't give a shit. I'll talk to anybody. Just come as you are. Try your best to be honest within conversation. That's all anybody ever asks.
Yeah, it's
There's
funny.
no flat shaming goes on. No, nothing like that, Nathan.
Was that Bev?
They're demanding people to be honest in conversation, and that's coming from. You can't
There's some
even hold the
oxymoron if you've
conversation
ever
with a
heard
guy.
it.
Fuck me, gently.
That's hilarious.
It's really amusing me.
Flat Earth, and
It's really amusing me that these guys are that the term flat earther is so bad for these guys when they're flat earthers.
What's funny is they think that the level is horizontal is better.
Yeah, how does that help them?
Yeah, how do you get level as horizontal and then say you're not a flat earther?
Not
All
really
horizontals
possible.
are parallel, but I'm not a flat earther.
Yeah, you are. Sorry.
Exactly. What's the shape of the Earth, Bev? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. That's Bill's only answer. I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm not interested in the shape of the Earth. All I want to know, all I want to say is level is horizontal. That's it.
Yeah. Right, and a drop from horizontal is elevation change. So that building in Blackpool Tower must be way lower, or the level it's on way lower than where Beth is.
Or much smaller than we know about.
Could be.
This whole thing is a circular argument. I mean, he assumes that the Earth is horizontal. He assumes that the Earth is flat, so that all horizontals are parallel, and therefore uses all horizontals are parallel to prove that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way he goes.
Nathan's got a few insecurities at the minute. Somebody make sure Nathan's
That's
okay.
an understatement.
No, there was such a massive amount of lost souls that need.
The pot calling the
comforting
kettle black
because
there.
Massive amount. Thank you very much. My numbers have grown. There are 45 people watching right now. Nathan must be doing really badly in this. A massive amount of lost souls.
Oh, wow, Bev. There's 163 watching right now over here. Yeah.
Unless Nathan's got some forecast of something that's going to happen. I haven't got a clue. But I don't know what he's talking about.
There's a true statement. I haven't got a clue.
About people who know that the Earth's not flat. Big whoop. Nathan's a flat earther. Surely he's heard people say the Earth's not flat.
They don't want to suffer the ridicule of declaring the Earth as obviously and observably flat. So I put out a video trimmed out from the Ballbuster show on Saturday with me saying, man up, it is flat. Deal.
It's not flat, Nathan. It's just fucking not flat.
I would say that
God, I hate
this
when
statement...
I hate when I have to agree with Bev.
Yeah, this is going back and forth, and it's kind of disturbing, isn't it? One minute you have to agree with Bev, and the next minute you got to agree with Nathan or Brian. Mm-hmm.
They're both wrong. It's just that they're wrong in different flavors. You know, it's sort of like.
Yeah, they're wrong at different times. That's the problem. You know, you've got this lies stacked on more lies, and it just they've got so many lies. They're confusing themselves.
Yeah, I really don't know how to cheer in this team. Sort of like watching the Cowboys play the Raiders. You just don't care. You know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think sometimes when you get these splits amongst the flat Earth communities, just get some popcorn, sit back and relax and watch it all happen. You know, and laugh. That's all you can do, because you can't, like you said, you can't keep agreeing with people and disagreeing with people all the time. Really, reality doesn't work. You know?
You go watch a movie that your girl wants to watch and you're not really into it. You just kind of okay.
And a shout out to Davros for $5 Australian, who says, I swear if any of these numpties came into an engineering workshop, they would be yelled at and a full grease gun pumped into their toolbox. That's probably true, Davros. Nerd alert for €5. Behind on the stream, but my irony meter exploded when Bev started to talk about multiple layers of confusion. You owe me a new one. All right. So anyway, continue, guys. Or I'll continue.
And the very statement he just made, he repeated that for years.
Yeah.
This is most stupid statement. Especially this observably.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention it too.
This just contradiction, blatant contradiction, because we can observe with naked eye that the Earth is not flat. So if he's saying that it is observably flat, it means that he has some sight issue, serious sight issue, or he cannot discern shapes, let's say.
Elevation changes. He just literally can't see them. They're not there.
Because it's, of course, observably not flat.
You can observably see that level's not horizontal, but that doesn't bother him.
Well, it doesn't seem to, does it?
I mean, there was a very accurate water level that told you had to correct for Earth curve. I think I got that somewhere.
Yeah,
And that's what model affliction does, isn't it? It doesn't let you see reality anymore once you model afflicted. You can look at reality and just say, not that.
Yeah,
in this case,
there's obviously some sort of a mental break, right? Between the sight, the reasoning, and then the processing and the vocalization of the words. There's something that's breaking down there. Because it's observably not flat. Anyone can see that. This is why I think a lot of people get flat earthers mixed up. Because I'm pretty sure that not all flat earthers are taught like Nathan Oakley. But a lot of flat earthers like Rob Keane are flat earthers because they like the name and the term. But within this statement that Nathan's making, he's associating people with not knowing that there's an elevation change. Same group, same people. Nathan says that's what he's doing. He said he wants people not to be ashamed about stating that it's observably not flat. Like, I don't know.
With it.
Well, I'll agree with that.
The fact that some narcissists have decided to gaslight you into your comforting belief that it isn't, so you...
Listen to... I don't know what's like... Nathan really needs to... Somebody needs to make sure he's okay. Putting these 8-minute videos out.
But this guy's appealed to these lost souls and gone, I've got a way of letting you say Earth isn't flat. And laughing in the face of people who say it does present itself as flat. That's what this guy's appealed to. And I didn't know there was such a massive amount of lost souls.
Is he calling me a lost soul?
I think so, yeah.
Because I'm not in his group.
Only flat earthers will be saved.
Oh.
Yeah. They get offended by strange things, don't they?
Well, she herself said she don't want to be tagged as a flat earther. So Nathan is right.
Oh yeah, well, give them credit for having enough sense to realize that there is a horrible stigma that goes along with saying, I think the Earth is flat. Nobody but an idiot really wants to ever go and say that thing. But
well, I don't think he started changing his mind because the stigma of saying the Earth is flat. I basically think Bev started doing that is because it's shifting the burden of proof. I think that's his whole premises, and that's what he does. Because he just says, well, okay, well, what's the shape of the Earth? I don't know. Therefore, the burden is on proof is you to prove that it's a globe. I think that's the sole reason why he changed his mind when he started doing all this nonsense.
Well, yeah, you may be right about that.
That, and I think his realization that he can faff about and bugger around and blather on about Euclid all day long, knowing that it's completely and utterly pointless.
Yeah.
When it comes to the shape, when it comes to actually measuring anything, looking at anything in the real world, it's just a load of fluff for him to talk about.
And he's got nothing to prove to anybody that way.
Well,
whereas if you're a flat earther, you've got everything to prove as a flat earther.
But it's still backwards. I mean,
of course it is.
The spherical Earth is the accepted model. If you're going to come up with a new, or in this case, old variant of this, you need evidence of this change.
That's the thing. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Paige. But the thing is, he won't commit to what the shape of the Earth is.
Right.
You can have a long conversation with him about the meanings of words, what he defines as flat, but it'll get you absolutely nowhere.
Right,
because he's not going to say what the shape of the Earth is. He won't.
I've had this discussion about the word level, and
yeah.
To him, the level and flat, level and horizontal are the same, and they're not.
Yeah. I mean, that I was going to say to Chike earlier on, because when Chike was saying, okay, well, let's define what flat is, ask him what he defines flat. But I think it's a pointless argument. It's a pointless discussion because it'd get you nowhere with Bev. Absolutely nowhere.
And you've got to
You
take
have to
things in
confess the
context
creed.
as well. You know, like, I mean,
Oh,
surveyors working, you know, they're in context. Are they just leveling a building, or are they, you know, measuring a subdivision, or are they, you know, doing a survey across, you know, hundreds of kilometres? And their terms are the same, but they use them in different contexts, you know, in what they're working in and the job they're doing. And Bev just pulls one term from, you know, context of a builder building a level floor into a level planet. Well, there's a difference there.
Yeah, well, that's a fact. And it is a lot in context. If you're building a house, that's one thing. If you're trying to survey large sections of land, or do something like we presented this sort of stuff to Bev time and time again. Something like the transcontinental surveys that have been done. That's an entirely different thing.
Yeah, or your presentations on LIGO, you know, it's got to be in context with what they're trying to achieve.
That's exactly right.
Well, these guys should have given up after LIGO. After Blues, LIGO, and a couple other guys did the LIGO things. They should just give up.
Hey, shout out to PhD Tony in the chat. How you doing, Tony? Lots of people out there. Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up.
Wally's here too. I haven't seen him in a long time.
179 watching now.
Believe it or not, we're 26 minutes in. There's another 42 minutes of Bev going over an 8-minute video. And he didn't even start at the beginning. Unbelievable. Let's listen to some more of this nonsense.
To be safe.
Well, it's weird because I've never done that with anything, so. Sorry, Nathan.
I don't know whether he could class you as part of the group that follow, right? Because you were here first.
Well,
so I'm not too
this
sure
is,
whether that...
Yeah, this is another thing. It's like...
we might all be following Emma. Nathan might have got everything wrong.
No, nobody follows anybody. It's like, that's why we're where we are. Because we don't want to follow somebody and a group of people and stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to follow people who know what they're talking about. We just want to make shit up.
Because they don't want to suffer the ridicule of declaring the Earth as obviously and observably flat. So I put out a video trimmed out from the Ballbuster show on Saturday.
I bet you do get a lot of ridicule, right, if you say it's obviously and observably flat. And they go, what, that? And you go, yeah. And it'd be like, yeah, I think somebody should be saying, yeah, there's something wrong there, mate. I wouldn't ridicule somebody. I would say, are you all right?
I would say that would be, I think, easy meme to make. Guy standing in front of tall or high mountain and saying that Earth is observably flat.
Yeah.
Easy meme to make. Boy. Sorry, comrade. Your pronunciation leaves a little to be desired sometimes. And shout out to Pat in the chat for $10. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. Every flurf ever. Positive evidence. What's that? I'd rather misunderstand every scientific explanation and then spout a bunch of fallacies I don't know how to use. Very true. Thank you, Pat.
Even easier thing would be to show a few people look at the slanted horizontal and say, that's horizontal, level. Perpendicular to something, somewhere.
Yeah, well, everything's perpendicular to something, I guess.
Not if it's curved. According to Bev.
Well, according to Bev, I believe I can draw a perpendicular to a curved surface. In fact, I know I can.
Or banging his head on this mountain and saying that it is observably flat.
He said,
or rolling down into a valley, like rolling down,
Yeah,
going,
something
yes,
like
it's
that.
flat.
Nathan Oakley has said that Al-Biruni measured the mountain flat. His words. So, yeah, I know this is what certain people. I mean, I didn't understand that people thought flat was an orientation until I met QE and had Adam on their drunk night out. And now Nathan's saying something that I didn't actually ever think I would ever hear anybody say, right? I thought it was a known that flat earthers didn't actually think that the earth's flat, but it appears Nathan Oakley's clung on to it for that long that he now appears to think that it is. Oof.
Now the dishonesty of this little clown.
Yep. Off the charts.
Absolutely. Jesus, Bev. Nathan is talking about the shape of the earth, not small undulations in the surface of it. The overall shape, Bev. Could you try at one point in your life maybe to imagine what you think it might look like? That might be helpful.
This is one of the reasons I'm not a flat earther, right? Who would want to be associated with people like Nathan Oakley?
God, how can you say he's not a flat earther and then in the next breath talk about level being horizontal and all horizontals being parallel?
I don't know.
Because that's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. He's not talking about Earth.
But it does, though. It seriously does.
I
I
know
you know
that.
that.
You know that. We all know that. It's all part of his
Does
bullshit.
Biv really
He's
know
not a flat
what
earther.
he's...
He's got proof.
Does he actually know what he's thinking?
I mean, not well, no. Especially if he says talks about the horizon, but it's got nothing to do with the Earth.
Thank you for not associating yourself with us, Nathan. Thank you.
With me saying, man up, it is flat. Deal with it.
It's not.
The fact that some narcissist societies gaslight you into your comforting belief that it isn't, so you can feel like you're being truthful when you put a hand on heart and say, no, it's not flat. Yeah, it is. Don't be gaslit.
Yeah, because he contradicts himself because he, even in his own words, his whiteboard is flat, but it's not two-dimensional. So you can't attack someone for saying it's flat because and say it's not flat because hills exist.
Right. Brian again.
This is wrong statement from Brian, because we are talking not about plane being flat or a geometrical description of the plane. We are not talking about 2D surface or plane. We are talking about real surface. So, and if we can say that still water, it is flat or it is close to be flat, the Earth is absolutely different. You cannot say that Earth with mountains and valleys is very similar to still water. It's just nonsense. It is not. So it doesn't hold even as normal description, let's say visual description. It doesn't hold.
Listen to what he does say, Brian.
Can't say no, Earth's not flat. Yeah, it is. Don't be gaslit.
Yeah, because he contradicts himself because he, even in his own words, his whiteboard is flat, but it's not two-dimensional.
The whiteboard is flat, but it's not two-dimensional. That's a true statement. Whiteboard's 3D. Said it. I have to screw it up onto the wall. I did that. Screwed it onto the wall. It's definitely not 2D. So what's going on with Brian here? Brian's associated flat with 2D.
God, the
And the
surface is too
whiteboard
deep.
is vertical.
So you can't attack someone for saying it's flat because and say it.
Who gets attacked? Listen to him again.
Dimensional. So you can't attack someone.
So you can't attack someone? Who's getting attacked? Seriously, Brian, what's going on?
We are. Not them. We are. We're the ones being attacked.
Well, I wouldn't say so. I think Brian feels that he's being attacked for calling it flat. They feel like they're being humiliated. They're shaming, or we're shaming them or something. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry, but the only person getting attacked or shamed yesterday in QE's chat was me for saying, no, I don't want to use flat in that context. It's not correct. You lose the argument the second you say it's flat because all they have to do is show you a mountain.
Is that Paige?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's Paige.
Got a southern hemisphere flat earther.
And Bev, just a quick question: if what you're doing right now is not attacking Nathan, what in the name of Zeus's butthole would you say you're doing? Jesus.
The whiteboard is flat. You can't go down to the microscopic level. The whiteboard doesn't have fucking mountains and valleys on it. That's why it's flat. But it's not 2D. It's a 3D object in reality. Like they're just being complete assholes.
Well, I don't
Surface
know whether
is
you're
still too deep, Paige. That's the problem. They don't understand. Even who's his favorite guy? Clanking. He says that the Earth is flat. Even Euclid says that a surface is two-dimensional. It has width and length.
aware of it, right? But when we've been dealing with the other flat Earth guys, flat Earth dogma and flat Earth math and all that sort of stuff, well, don't they always go to a scale thing? And isn't that exactly what these flat Earth debate guys are doing? They're saying scale. Yeah.
They are doing that, but
they
only...
are 2D. Sorry, Paper, they're 2D Earthers.
Yes, and they are going only one way with this scale. Because, as I said, Nathan Oakley was talking about scale, this table that is not flat under microscope, let's say. But he is talking about, and they are talking about scale of Earth. If you go, I don't know where, outside of universe, then you will see that the surface of the Earth is flat.
Yeah. Well, you have to go, the highest you could get would be on the highest mountain.
Yes.
And then that would be a bit fucking stupid of you to not notice that you're on top of a fucking mountain.
He's making the same stupid argument as he's accusing Globers, that you have to go to this place which is impossible to be, like Globers say that they are going to vacuum of space to take pictures of the globe Earth. So now he is talking about going to that kind of place where you cannot go to see that the Earth is supposedly flat. So he's making the same idiotic argument.
And can I just say too that I literally call myself Paige the Super Flurf. Like I will tell people, yes, I'm a flat earther, because those words bring up a certain thought process in other people's minds. They know what I'm talking about if I call myself a flat earther. But if I'm going to actually debate somebody on, you know, what I think Earth shape is and the orientation it's in, I'm not going to use the word flat because it's not flat. You know, so stop saying we're trying to.
I know.
What a complete and utter contradiction. I mean, how could you get it on? What the heck?
Have you ever talked to Paige? Have you ever had the pleasure of talking to Paige for any length of time?
Not for any length of time, no. But I mean, what she's basically said is that I'm a flat earther, but when I have a debate with you, I'm not a flat earther.
Right, because she knows stigma attached to it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Paige. I think your disingenuousness is showing. In other words, Paige just becomes whatever she wants to be at the moment.
Get away from being flat earthers because you're just fucking lying. You're gaslighting us now, Nathan. So shut the fuck up. I'm a flat earther. I'm proud of it. I call myself a flurf. So stop just making shit up about people. Stay in your own lane. Pull your fucking head in, and it'll be the end of it. Yeah, I'm done with my rant.
Yeah,
I haven't had enough coffee this morning.
Wow.
Spoken like a true barmaid in a biker bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I don't Australians have a word for people like her, isn't it? Something like a bogan or something on those lines? I don't know. No idea.
I do remember this part. I played it several times. It was too funny. I don't think she's done yet either.
Everybody knows Paige. We've gone through some steps, haven't we, or over the years with the conversations? But Paige says, Paige has come to a realization that I think most of us have. That it's not worth talking to certain people. They're crazy, but I never imagined that Nathan Oakley would jump on and make it so obvious that he's part of this. I don't know. Anti-logos.
How cultish is it when I've been an avid and, you know, not only a supporter in his videos and what have you, I've been a financial supporter of him for many years, but now over one word that I don't want to use the same way they're using it, I'm now slow, I'm a spastic, I'm being, you know, I don't want to be a flat earther anymore, I'm a lost soul, you know, whatever else. Go fuck yourself, Nathan. My God.
Wow, was it Nathan in the chat then?
Oh boy.
He's talking to
Oh, the plot thickens. She used to support him financially as well. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. As Jeranism would say.
Yeah, I didn't even talk to him. I was answering, I just put a comment saying, you know, the minute you claim in a debate, the minute you claim flat, you've lost the debate. All they have to do is show you a mountain. And they just started jumping on. Brian jumped on me, Nathan jumped on me, some other guy in the chat jumped on me. And Nathan literally got to the point he's caps locking, you know, slow, are you slow, Paige?
Wow.
You know, Earth is flat. I'm like, yeah, okay, have at it, guys. Enjoy your 2D Earth. I'm out of here. You know, he'll never get any support from me ever again. That's just, you know, if he can be like this towards somebody over just the way you use a word in a sentence, then holy shit, there's something fucking wrong with that guy.
He says there's a lot of people. Right, so he's alienating a lot of people by his own words. like into the same way that you're saying now, right? Nathan's done that, not me.
Yeah, Nathan, not you.
Yeah.
Not the flat earth, the people. I love it when the ballers come and give me hell about being a flat earther. I absolutely love it because I know that one day all of the things they've ever said to me are going to come back to them and bite them on the ass. So all I can do is, call me names all the more. Go for it. I'm extremely secure in my position, and I'm secure because of you, Bev, and the things I've learned here about geometry. Not because I go around calling the earth flat. That's not what made me secure. It was knowing the geometry behind it and the difference between 2D and 3D and, actually making sure I use the correct words in the correct ways. That's what's made me secure.
Wait a minute. Paige had to go to Bev to learn the difference in 2D and 3D. Is that what she just said?
Yep.
Well, I bet you learn new things because a curved line is 2D and curved surface is 3D.
I'm actually amazed that they only now found out that Nathan throws temper tantrums. It's been doing that for years.
Oh,
to everybody.
They had to know. They have to know.
Oh, they knew.
Yeah, this is just a lot of posturing.
Yeah.
They're terribly butthurt because Bev got reamed so badly by Nathan. And that's what he gets for going over there. What did he think was going to happen?
Yeah, you disagree with Nathan, you're going to get screamed at, shouted at, and muted. That's just common knowledge.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, there is no other possible outcome. It's Nathan Oakley. That's all he does.
That's why nobody goes over there to discuss with him.
Correct.
That's right. That's the reason I've never gone on his channel, nor would I even consider it. Not a chance.
Yeah, you can't have any conversation with him.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
You don't lose either.
You're only going to show that he's a child of 3 years old. Temper.
All right.
Yeah, that's all he's going to do. Stomp his foot, yell at you, call you names, insult you. Because he doesn't have any arguments.
Not if it's your first time, though.
You're saying you get a free pass on your first time? I don't think so.
Yeah, even 3, yeah, I got. He didn't yell at me at the first time or the second time. It's not that I think at the third time he started to yell.
You're a very special person.
No. It's the usual.
Well, you might get away with it if he doesn't know you.
Yes, if you're new to him, if it's the first time, he never heard about you, you're just another internet user.
Yeah, that's possible. I can tell you absolutely, unequivocally, there's not a chance I could go on there without getting screamed at. Hell, I can't even type anything in his side chat.
Thank you. Yeah, but you've helped along the way, right? Some of your realizations came at times when, I don't know. Can you remember Paige's proof? And what do you think of how other people viewed that, right? I think that was a personal thing. It was only me and you that went through that at that time.
Yeah. Because you were the only one that went, oh, yes.
Yeah, that entire room filled with 30, 40 people. I think that was just me and you there talking to each other.
That was my beginning of, oh, hang on a minute. They're just changing the definition of these words in geometry. But hang on. There are books with postulates and axioms and it's all written, and I can just get that book and I can show them that, all this is all already established. That's how I became so confident in my argument. because of the geometry already established.
Yep. Yeah. We've never been dealing with the flat Earth. We've always been dealing with just reality, people understanding how to pass on that knowledge. Right? There's an easy way and there's a hard way, and I consider Nathan confusing the issue as much as he possibly can. When there's a very simple truth behind all of this, but if your mind gets clouded with all of this other stuff, then it becomes hard for you to be able to see the simplicity within this. And Nathan,
he's put it up as a false dichotomy too. He's saying, I'm getting the feeling from him that he's saying if we refuse to say the Earth is flat, that we automatically become a glober again.
Or an anti-flat earther. Or a flat earth shamer. Or, all of these, he's got new labels to call people that don't agree with his delusions.
Yes, if you refuse to use that one word in the same way they use it, then you're all of these things and probably more when he's screaming at his wife about us. So...
Yes, you need they need not only confession, but you have to chant this confession in proper tune. So if you don't, you are...
Exactly.
Do you reckon to the music in the background? It's off-putting, but I mean, I'm used to a different music, I think.
For saying it's flat because and say it's not flat because hills exist.
It's not a reasonable position, and ultimately speaking, generally speaking, we don't give a toss about these
It's
people.
not a reasonable position.
You are inclined.
Yeah, it's not a reasonable position to mention mountains.
To say it's not flat, yeah, because there's hills. That's not a reasonable position. Why the fuck not? Why not? Come here, Brian. Come onto the fucking show and show me anything that is observably flat about the entire Earth. Fucking Muppets.
So you can't attack someone for saying it's flat because and say it's not flat because hills exist.
It's not a reasonable position, and ultimately speaking, generally speaking, we don't give a toss about these people.
You can't attack somebody and say that mountains exist when they say it's flat.
Yes, I would say that this is new ad hominem attack.
Hey, shout out to Turing Test 2 for £5. Thanks for the laugh, Blue. You betcha. This is funny, isn't it?
You are saying that the Earth is not flat because we can see mountains. This is ad hom. Great.
It is Brian's logic. I mean, come on.
You are inclined to round up lost soul flat earthers who don't want to admit that Earth's flat because it's embarrassing socially. And they want somebody that can offer them evidence that doesn't conflict with their understanding of how Earth's flat, that gives them an out for not saying it.
What we do here is we like to give people proofs, proofs that exist in reality that you can take away. Unfortunately, one of those proofs is that it's not flat. Sorry, Nathan. So yeah, if anybody does want to feel like that they're a bit of a lost soul and you don't want to say that the Earth's flat, because it's fucking not, it's fucking ridiculous. But if you feel like you would like to try and gain some proofs from yourself that exist in reality, then yeah. Don't feel yourself as a lost soul, though. Just come in and have a chat. You might not fit in anyway. You might think we're all weird. You won't have lost anything. Click on the Discord link. Come on in. We're easy people to chat to. We're not like Nathan Oakley. We don't shout at you for saying it's not flat. We don't even shout at you for saying you're a flat earther. We don't do all of this shit.
You won't even get shouted out if you come in and say, I'm a flat earther. You won't even get shouted out for that. You'll just get given geometry to go into a debate with. That's all.
No, you won't. No, you won't. If you go into the Discord, you get called a faggot if you don't go into the voice channel.
Exactly.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Like I did.
Thanks for shouting that information at us, Paige.
That's what I wanted to say.
Thanks so much. Yeah, you guys don't shout at anybody, do you?
No, they certainly do shout at you for sure. Bev might not so much, but the rest of his minions do, and he allows it. And his minions will shout and swear at you, and he'll let it happen. But as soon as you call them a single name, no, that can't happen.
Well, I called him many names.
Yeah, well, maybe you get away with it. I didn't.
Well, I got banned finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get shouted at in Bill's YouTube chat anytime I type anything. All I got to do is just say hello, and 10 of them will jump me. Yeah, you guys don't shout at anybody, right?
And they don't level anybody that like Blue Marble scientists.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what a blue marble scientist is. That's, well, strange.
In and have a chat. Even if you're Nathan Oakley. QE. Brian's logic. It doesn't really matter.
Especially if you're one of them.
Then if you want to do that in some quiet little server somewhere,
Discord.
no worries. But the
On the
moment you
level.
start coming out and flat shaming people because they understand that the Earth's obviously and observably flat.
Flat shaming people. This is where Nathan turns aggressive now, right?
Yeah, because the Earth is observably flat.
Yeah.
Again.
I'd like to hear that again. If you go out flat shaming people that say the Earth, see what Nathan's going to do to you.
Why do you need to hear it again, Bill?
Server somewhere, no worries. But the moment you start coming out and flat shaming people because they understand that the Earth's obviously and observably flat, and then encourage them to come to us and say, over at this particular...
Right, he's out talking about encouraging.
And then encourage them to come to us and say, over at this particular server, we get fundamentalist religious ball-believing zealots to admit that horizontal is level. It's amazing. You're like, wow, what an achievement. But when I put...
Yeah, it is. It's a fucking achievement. A brilliant one.
Have I encouraged anybody to go over to Nathan and say that, though? Or has somebody been going over there and shit staring? Because Nathan seems to be on a tirade about people going over there, telling him that we can get people to admit that level is horizontal.
I don't know if anyone else is going.
Whoa. When have you ever gotten anybody to admit level is horizontal, Bev? Give me a break. Has anybody ever heard that?
Nope, never.
That's news to me. You're having some issues here, Bev.
Over there, but I don't go there. That yesterday when I popped into QE's chat, that's literally the first time in about a year that I've even gone into one of their videos. So it's not me doing that.
Yeah. So somebody's going over there and winding Nathan Oakley up. But I mean, hey.
Does that mean we can now say like all women's chests are flat? Because, if you looked at it from a microscopic level or from way out into space, it would look flat.
I don't know whether you're allowed to notice a vertical change or not. I don't know whether Nathan would get upset about you noticing that.
I think he would. It obviously bothers him very much that there are elevation changes and that you can prove it's not flat. What the fuck? I don't know why he can't just talk to us. He just has to do these things behind our back, make videos and shit, and just get nasty when you come in.
Oh, you mean kind of like you guys are doing right now?
Yeah. I mean, hang on a second. It's like when she says doing things behind your back, what, on a public video in a public forum?
Yeah. How does that work?
How does that work?
Yeah.
So it didn't sound like it's behind your back to me. It's pretty public.
Yeah, take that video from last week. What does he do all the time? They learn logic. learn their, how we call it, the trivium? No, he's running videos of others behind their back.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Not just videos. He's taking screenshots of anything you put in a Discord chat that he can get his hands on. He does it to us all the time.
Hey, come here, Bev. Let's
Yeah.
have a chat.
Yeah, hop in, Bev. Anytime.
To try, like, instead of just saying to me, okay, Paige, why do you think that we shouldn't be saying Earth is flat in a debate? Instead of something like that, I just got attacked. Oh, you're slow, Paige. It's like, what the fuck?
I've been
What is
saying
wrong
it.
with you?
You don't understand.
I've been saying
I'm
it to
slow
Globers and Blue Marble scientists, right? That I actually have a proof that the Earth's not flat. And I'd be quite willing to match them with their proof that the Earth's not flat. So there'd be two people going into it. Wouldn't even be a debate. It'd just be a proof off where you show other people your proof that the Earth's not flat. So that you would end up having, you'd have two proofs that the Earth's not flat. But nobody wants to come and do that with us. Obviously, because the Blue Marble scientists don't have any proof that the Earth's not flat. And flat earthers
Bev,
don't want to see a
we
proof
just
that the Earth's
understand that
not
you're
flat.
talking shite.
You mean apart from all that proof we've given you, Bev?
Hold on a minute. Did you just hear what he just said? The Globers have got no evidence that the Earth isn't flat.
No. He said the opposite. He said that Globers and him agreed that Earth's not flat, but we don't agree that Earth's not flat because of your reason that there's mountains. We don't agree because Earth is not flat because it's a sphere.
Wait a second. Now I'm going to do a Bev and go back and hear that again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
That the Earth's not flat. So there'd be two people.
Instead of something like that, I just got attacked. Oh, you're slow, Paige.
Well, you are.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I've been
What is
saying
wrong
it.
with you?
You don't understand.
I've been saying it to Globers and Blue Marble scientists, right? That I actually have a proof that the Earth's not flat. And I'd be quite willing to match them with their proof that the Earth's not flat. So there'd be two people going into it. Wouldn't even be a debate. It'd just be a proof off where you show other people your proof that the Earth's not flat.
Oh no, stand corrected.
So that you would end up having, you'd have two proofs that the Earth's not flat, but nobody wants to come and do that with us. Obviously, because the Blue Marble scientists don't have any proof that the Earth's not
because
flat.
we have evidence, because it's the real world. It's not mathematics.
He keep confusing between proof and evidence.
Yeah.
Well, we understand that. It's just another thing to laugh at them for, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, you got some great evidence yourself, Bev. Remember Blackpool Tower? Remember that one? I think you ought to go back out to the beach and do it again. Maybe it was just a fluke. Yeah. I think that would be a great idea. Maybe you can don't stand in the way with that damn measuring stick though. That's distracting. We don't need to see that. We just need to see the tower. Just show us that one. You can do that, can't you? Hey, I got another idea. Why don't you get a couple of theodolites, put them about 10 miles apart, point them at each other, and measure zenith angles? That would work too. Ooh,
Steady.
Ouch.
Steady.
Yeah, let's go back to Bev.
Careful.
Flat earthers don't want to see a proof that the Earth's not flat. So, hey, we put ourselves in a separate group.
Do you actually think that you would need to prove that mountains exist, Bev? Do you really believe that that would be necessary? That's ridiculous.
We have proof Maybe we could do a Venn diagram. Vesica Pisces. Having proof and knowing the Earth's not flat. In the centre.
Point out that as an overall topology doesn't make Earth completely flat.
Oh.
But you have a horizontal reference plane used to describe the surface.
Horizontal reference plane doesn't describe the surface. I mean, what the fuck?
Horizontal things in a horizontal orientation don't necessarily have to be flat.
He said that it is not.
What?
What he phrased it completely flat.
Yeah.
Maybe we can listen again. How he phrased it.
But when I point out that as an overall topology doesn't make Earth completely flat.
Did you hear what he said as well there? I don't know whether you guys are quite
Yes,
aware.
Topology does not make it completely flat.
Yeah, topology, though. Not topography.
But it's obviously and observably flat, and we're morons if we don't say it, even though it's not completely flat.
Yeah, but if you don't catch that little trick that he just played, yeah, you don't catch that, then you're missing out.
Bollocks up the
Because at some point,
between
Nathan will...
topology and topography.
I believe so, because I don't think he knows what the difference is.
will be able to say, well, I didn't say that. I said topology. What he meant to say was topography, or that's what you probably heard. You probably heard mountains and valleys measured topography, right? It's not what Nathan said.
But when I point out that as an overall topology doesn't make Earth completely flat, but you have a horizontal reference plane used to describe the surface. That's a flat Earth.
It's not.
No, no, it is non sequitur. It does not describe.
He's literally saying two different things. He's literally saying in the same freaking sentence, it's not completely flat, but it's flat.
Yes, he's contradicting.
Like,
yes.
Not that.
This is as frustrating as hearing the ballers say, horizontal and vertical are perpendicular, but then they're not.
Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? The flat Earth dogma, flat Earth math, blue marble science, and now Nathan Oakley. They start off with the that, and then they say not that. Same sentence. That, not that. Confusion.
Now, for the people who've gone and been brainwashed by somebody who's decided to gaslight them that means Earth isn't flat.
Earth isn't flat, and don't think anybody's been brainwashed by me, and this isn't gaslighting when I say it's not flat. It's measured, not flat. The very fact that you can make a measurement means it's not flat. Vertical measurement. Elevations. Surely you've seen them.
They'll boldly declare to you how flat it isn't, after telling you how wonderful it is that you've got a bull believer who thinks the ground is curving, to tell you that it isn't curving.
No, we're talking about level and horizontal. Level being horizontal, not the ground, Nathan. He gets very upset.
And ground is curving in many directions.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see many curves all over the place.
Spell this out for those who've been gaslit. That means the ground is flat.
Doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
What's he saying now, right? The people that have been gaslit and then says something that sounds like gaslighting.
Does he understand what gaslighting is?
I don't know.
I don't think so, Emma. I really don't. Because he's literally doing it.
I don't think Paige does either.
I'm not too sure how effective a flat Earth gaslighter is, though. Really, it's just adding an element of confusion for the flat Earth society, right? But I don't know. I'm not so sure how many people he's going to Get with this.
If you want to take comfort in somebody telling you that you don't have to say that conclusory statement, grow a pair of balls. Take some pride in what you know to be true.
Grow a pair of balls, especially
Oh,
you and Emma and
women.
Paige.
Rhetoric, empty rhetoric.
Wow.
Yeah.
A guy that hates women telling everyone to get some balls.
That means it is flat. Earth
It's not.
is flat. That's level. Horizontal.
Is he level and horizontal don't mean flat?
Sounds like Ranty. Can you remember the Planty Rat Earth?
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like
Did you
just
say
then.
Planty Rat Earth?
Yeah.
Say that this is spelling or cursing,
Love it.
pronouncing the spell many times to have better effect, because there is no argument.
Yeah.
So he's just repeating the spell.
Gaslighting. He's calling us gaslighters. Sorry, people, if you feel like you've been gaslit. Come in, challenge us. Make sure you haven't been. I'm not saying that you won't be able to do the same with Nathan. I'm not so sure. I think Paige had to go talking to him, but...
Is flat. That's level. Horizontal. Give me no toss about this. Oh, I've got valleys. Oh, I've got mountains. Yeah, that's absolutely fascinating. And likewise, a flat whiteboard has got microscopic undulations in it.
Yeah?
Doesn't alter what we can describe it as. That's a flat Earth.
No, a whiteboard. You'd be struggling to call my whiteboard a flat Earth.
But still, surveyors don't measure at microscopic scale.
On the scale of the Earth, they actually do, dummy.
So this analogy is completely false.
That's precisely how it's navigated and measured. As you all well know.
How can it be measured flat? What the fuck is he talking about? It's not measured flat. The fact that you can make a vertical datum and there's a vertical measurement that can be made.
If the Earth was flat, there would be nothing to measure. Surveyors would be fired, out of work.
Well, you'd only have to do the triangulation, wouldn't you? You wouldn't need to do the elevation measurements. You'd be happy with that. Like, let's just do triangulation. Boom, done. Thanks very much. Don't need to do anything else.
Oh,
Deny
boy.
what you are. It's pathetic.
And it uses one of the...
Deny what you listen to him. I thought that was great. It's like like he's rounding people up, like William de Bruce, is it? Riding his horse up and down up the things.
Oh no. Don't deny what you are. It's pathetic.
And it uses one of the arguments where the ballers try to confuse topology with the baseline that you measure that topology against.
Did you hear him do it as well? Now, I don't know whether this
Again,
is
topology.
purposeful.
Again. Yeah.
Not topography. Topography is the mountains and the valleys and the elevation changes. Topology is not. Look it up for yourself. Check it out. We're talking about topography when we talk about measurements. The measurements of the topography, the elevation changes of the land. If you want to look into the other one, just look it up for yourself. See what Nathan's been dealing with. No wonder he's messed up.
You know, it's really sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it was really sad, Bev.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you turn an 8-minute video into a 1-hour video. In fact, 59 minutes and 17 seconds is exactly how long that lasted.
Well, he's the expert in waffle. He can talk for hours and say nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was rather amusing.
This glass of wine has helped.
Why does it take flat earthers 6 hours to discuss 1 + 1 equaling 2?
I don't know. It just does.
What do they need a whole month to learn about what straight line and perpendicular is?
Maybe they need longer to understand 1 + 1. I don't know.
Well, there's going to be one group that says it's 3 and the other says it's 1.5, so they're going to have discussions about it.
Well, there's one Australian that thinks 90 + 90 is 180, so he got that part right. Where he came up with those 90s, I have no idea.
Well, there's one a Brit that thinks that 90 + 90 = 0. Or not that, because a straight line is not 180 degrees.
No, but two verticals are parallel.
Yeah, you guys continue. I'm trying to get something else up here.
So he did a whole hour show on an 8-minute video of Nathan Oakley's.
Yeah, he did an hour of his usual 4-hour show is what it was.
Yeah. He
You know how
doesn't
that
do
goes.
1 hour shows.
No, he only got every day he goes on for 3 hours minimum. Usually it's more like 4, sometimes as much as 8. Going over and over and over the same thing, of course.
Oh, it's a work day for him.
Yeah, sometimes he goes over the same video several days.
Well, if that was yesterday's stream, he went for nearly 3.5 hours. That's a short one for him.
Yeah, but analysing one video, an 8-minute video, and taking an hour to do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you notice Blue keeps his down to about 15 minutes because that way Bev won't blow a gasket.
True, yeah.
If Blue had a 45-minute one, it'd take him 2 days.
Oh, it would. No question about that. Yeah, he can turn one of my 15-minute ones into 2 hours worth.
Multi-part.
Oh, yeah.
A multi-part.
Well, we've seen him do it. We know. Hey, it could be worse, though. You could be actually talking to one of these idiots instead of just listening. You could actually be having to try to have a conversation with one of them, especially like in a chat. I've had a great one going on here lately with Mike Jones. Anybody know who Mike Jones is?
I've heard the name
Oh,
somewhere.
yes. Little Buddy.
Yeah, that's the guy.
The one who managed to speak to George. He managed to get hold of his phone number and talk to him because he persuaded George that he was sort of upfront and honest. And then dug a lot of information out and then went straight back to Bev and his crew and told them all about it. And apparently George did some background research on Mike and it was quite revealing.
Yeah, some not good things came out of that, is what I understand. But
that's what I got. That's the gist that I got as well. So yeah, we'll leave that there.
Oh, you can tell me about that later then.
All right.
I think we're coming about 3 weeks since Bev promised to go over their reciprocal vertical angles. And
yeah, something like that. He's not going to. Or at least I doubt he will. Yeah, but I had an interesting exchange going on with Mike Jones. I put a bit of that chat up on the screen. I think you guys can see it too. And user DQ5IH5DD5Z, whatever the hell that is. That is Mike Jones. Okay. And of course, I'll start with me being rude, where I say you're an idiot. It confirms the oblate spheroid aspect of our claim. You utter fool. You're what's sad, Mike. Well, what that's all about is I had made a remark about how the information, the XYZ data that we got from Jesse on Lake Pontchartrain. When you look at that, you realize that the vector lengths from the origin, the ECEF origin, to the north end of the bridge are about 100 meters less than the vectors at the south end of the bridge. It's just proof of the oblateness of the Earth, right? And Mike didn't like that very much. So Mike says, tell us more about that equidistant center you imagine can exist in your not sphere. Take all the time you need. Is this something you imagine you were taught at the football school you briefly attended?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And let's see, there was a little banter back and forth between Mike and I, where I basically challenged him to a one-on-one, which he obviously is not willing to do. But let me get down to some of this. Yeah, I was responding actually to whatever, who called me a boomer, because that's what Mike Jones does all the time, refers to me as a boomer. And I said back to whatever, that's Mr. Boomer to you, get it straight. Just kidding him. But then I said, the knucklehead is trying to say the Earth-centered, Earth-fixed coordinate system doesn't have a center and that it isn't fixed. The Earth obviously has a center of mass, and the coordinate system, x-axis, is fixed to the prime meridian. So as usual, Mikey is talking out his backside. Ask him this. Well, never mind. I won't even read that part. I've already used that joke once today. I'm going to do it again. And then Mikey says, you already conceded that your irregular spheroid doesn't have a single fixed center. And Jesse has done a runner. Yeah.
Let me get it. Just because the distance to all points on the sphere is not the same, it doesn't have a center. So a rectangle don't have a center, right?
Lots of things don't have centers by that definition.
Right.
So, of course,
nothing except a circle have a center.
Yeah. So, of course, I responded, you're full of crap, Mikey. I conceded no such ridiculous thing. The center of an ellipse is at the intersection of the major and minor axes. Maybe you should look things up like this before you say ignorant things. And let's see. I'd like to go down a little bit further. Mike popped off saying, well, what he said didn't really make a lot of sense. Of an ellipse, or of the specific irregular oblate one you're imagining, anyway, whatever that meant. So I went back to Mike and said, okay, you want to play, Mike? Put on your big boy pants. An ellipsoid has three perpendicular axes of symmetry that intersect at a center of symmetry. If all three axes have different lengths, it's the shape we call a triaxial ellipsoid. The Earth has two axes that are the same length, and we call that an ellipsoid of revolution. And since the third axis is shorter than the x or y axes, it's called an oblate spheroid as opposed to a prolate spheroid if the third axis had been longer than the xy axis. The Earth is an ellipsoid of revolution, or an oblate spheroid. It has a center, as I have explained. This concludes your geometry lesson for today. Future training will be provided at an appropriate fee. I don't think he liked that part.
I think you went too fast for him there.
Yeah,
Why?
maybe.
He has money.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than 3 sentences. Come on.
Yeah, I hear you. So let's see where else Mikey goes with this. He says, I see you're struggling with comprehending the irregularity of your delusion. It's okay, little buddy. Let it all out. After you're done emoting, tell us more about the perpendicularity of the straight axes that you're using in Euclidean 3D space to describe your blob. So I said, and again, comes a uniquely ignorant statement from the mathematical neophyte that can't understand how ellipses or ellipsoids can have a center. With that bit of technical illiteracy exposed, he now wants to switch to a straw man argument over axes, Cartesian coordinates, and 3D Euclidean space. Nice try, Mike. Don't quit your day job. So Mike's tried to respond in kind, and that didn't go very well for him, actually. I want to get down to some of the better stuff. I asked him a couple of questions. I said, can we assume from your statement that you believe that a sphere cast with a hollow spherical center will not produce any gravitational effect on other objects? And I followed that with, is it also your hypothesis that a cylindrical mass likewise would not exhibit any gravitational characteristics, as it is impossible for all points on its surface to be equidistant from any single point? And I got nothing back in return other than just more questions. For instance, Mike said, is it your hypothesis that a single infinitesimal point within all physical objects somehow manifests a pulling force on other physical objects? What an idiot. Jesus. So let's see. I told him this. I said, you're totally full of shite, Jones. Homogeneous spheres can be mathematically represented as if the mass is concentrated at the center, but the entire sphere, every tiny part of it, is attracting every tiny part of any other mass. Your understanding of this isn't even high school quality. You embarrass yourself every time you open your mouth.
Right. And as a Bev Academy graduate, what is infinitesimally small point?
Oh, I
So
suppose.
point has no parts.
Yeah. A point is a point. I don't know why you need to qualify that with infinitesimally small. I agree with you. I'm not sure what good that does. It's already a point. How much smaller do you want to make it? Right. Other people were going back and forth with him too, but I told him eventually, let's see where we get to that part. Mike says, you just conceded that a center is equidistant from a surface. You conceded that yours isn't. I didn't do any such thing, Mike. I said, very good, Mike. You have a perfect grade school understanding of what a center is. At the high school level, it's a point such that for any point on the figure, there is another point on the figure such that a straight line joining the 2 points is bisected by the original center point. That works perfectly for an oblate or prolate spheroid. Please deposit $100 in my PayPal to cover the cost of this geometry lesson. So, I don't have $100 though. Yeah, I don't think Mike's going to pay up. But this is the kind of crap you get out of these guys. This is the kind of foolishness you get out of Mike Jones. He constantly tries to generate a straw man of some sort. and it just goes on forever. But I thought that was an example of why it's better to listen to them than actually try to talk to them. I put all you guys to sleep. Good.
No.
Yeah, I can wait.
Here, we'll show the thumbnail again for a while. I'll take this down. So what do you think, guys? Have we had enough fun for one night?
Yeah, I have. Time's marching on over here.
Can you ever have too much fun? Is that possible?
Well,
well, we've listened to Bev's voice quite a lot.
Yeah, well, that's not fun. That's just torture. But this is what we do. We torture ourselves for fun.
By the way, what I see on the screen now is the video. He went, I think, at least 2 times of flat Earth math. I think he needs to go through it again. Probably he didn't attack it from all angles, I guess.
Yeah, PhD Tony in the chat makes a really good point too. Earth's center of mass is not stationary. What you defined is center of figure, which also moves through time as Earth deforms, and that's absolutely true. It's not a stationary point.
Should we be worried if they ever find out about tides?
Yeah. Yeah, it's constantly moving around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for instance, a nucleotide.
Thank you, Lyle.
Bad joke.
That's a Lyle joke.
What we can't deny, love.
It just astounds me that people like Jones, disciples of Bev, are as thoroughly, totally ignorant about basic math or geometry or physics. It's astounding.
Yeah.
You don't even need to go through the simple calculus that Newton went through to prove that you can represent a sphere as if the entire mass is concentrated at a point at the center. You can reason that, and you're just, just by thinking about it. If you're on the outside of the sphere, looking at that thing, every point on it is exerting a gravitational force on you. There's always a point antipodal to every other point. So if you move one point away from you toward the center and the opposing antipodal point toward you to the center, they cancel each other out. It's that simple. That's why you can make it a point mass with no penalty. Not true when you get into some weird ass shape, but it's very true when you're dealing with something spherical or nearly spherical. It gets really complicated too when people like PhD Tony get into it and really nail it down. But for general purposes, we can just consider the thing spherical.
Yeah.
So you got anything, Larry?
No, not really. But like I said, considering it's spherical or ellipsoidal, it's a matter of scale of what you're doing. In that transcontinental survey, it's presentation of the data, and to determine an ellipsoidal shape. And they're dealing with orthometric because it's 1895. And in the narrative, they point out that they were initially evaluating the data against the Bessel, which is the European orthometric geoid. And they were pointing out because it doesn't fit the North American geoid because all the residuals are slightly negative, in bringing on a different A and B value for the best fit ellipsoid. So yeah, not only could you not ignore it, but you could actually, measure the difference in geoidal shape by trying to use one from 1,000 miles away. And Everest has its own orthometric geoidal shape. And that's why we have, in the grand scheme, a WGS84 ellipsoid, which is global, best fit. And that came about, I think one of the first ones was like WGS72. And that came about with the introduction of really sophisticated navigation for ICBM, where that shit mattered. So again, it's just they're surrounded by technology and they hate everybody that made it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to know anything about it either. It's phenomenal. Well, anybody else got anything before we wrap this up?
No. I'm too frazzled.
I hear you. Hey, thanks everybody. I appreciate all the support and participation today. It's been a little bit of fun, maybe. Well, it's always fun to laugh at those guys, but it's particularly fun when they're fighting amongst themselves this way.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like I said, break out the popcorn. Just let it all happen.
Yeah, exactly. Let it roll. Well, all right. Good night to all you guys out there in YouTube land. I'm going to end the stream, and we can hang out in here in Discord all you want to. In fact,
I appreciate all the participation you allowed me to do during this session.
well, absolutely, Leo. You betcha.
Even though Farmer's Boy's here, you still let me participate.
Oh dear. Oh Lyle. Oh, you like.
Okay, well, with that, I'm going to say good night, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Good night.
Good night.
And we're off.